Hi, I'm Parker Miley.
Tim Benjamin.
And this is the Rage Podcast, where today we are going to take an in-depth look at the U.S. court system. No, we're not. But anyways, so I was giving a lesson or talking to a group of kids last week about just the gospel message, and I used the term, Jesus was the bail for our guiltiness, right? So if we were in a courtroom, God set a standard for us. We clearly don't follow that standard practically every hour of the day. As a result of that, we are guilty. Guilty, and our sentence is death. And then I use this analogy of Jesus paying our bail so that we can not have to experience that death, and not only experience that death, but live in eternity in paradise with God and have peace with our lives here on earth. So yada yada. You hopefully know the story, okay? But anyways, I use that term bail, and I realized later that I used it completely incorrectly. But I feel like a lot of people like I got bailed out of, say you're having a bad date, all right? So you text someone and say, hey, I need help getting bailed out. And, we use that term, I feel like, right?
Yep.
To get out of things, and we have this conception in our minds that bail means to get out of something.
Get out of something. Bail out of the airplane that's
Yeah,
crashing.
bail out of the airplane, bail out of this, and all those things. But in that situation, especially in our court system, that is not how that works, actually.
Yeah, in that context, the way it would work is if you bailed out of the airplane, you're still in it when it crashes because you got to come back.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. So bail, what bail is, and this is, I probably was taught this in school in government class or something, but I just wasn't paying attention.
A lot of confession going on today here on the Rage Podcast.
Well, bail is so we live in a specific society that has, and our court system is supposed to hold very true to this, and this is one of our best rights I think we have, and that is innocent until proven guilty.
Yep.
No matter what happened. You get arrested, you're still innocent until proven guilty. All it means is we have suspicion that you might be doing something illegal.
Yeah,
that's what arrest means.
And you can even be charged with it.
Yes.
But still not convicted.
Of it. Yeah, you can be charged, you can be arrested for whatever it is, because because the court system and the police and all those things that work together in that situation may suspect that you were doing something illegal. And so once they suspect this, you have a bail date, all right? So you have a date where you're going to go to court, and they're going to kind of discuss why you got arrested or why you have these charges.
And the reason for that time being in the future is so that evidence can be collected against you, and a defense can be mounted.
So people can start to work on all that stuff. But then you have your bail court date, right? And this is specifically just the day where they set your bail. Because technically, from the time you were arrested, charged, or whatever, you would be confined in a jail. If it's super serious, maybe a prison, or whatever it may be. So you have been confined. You're locked up. That's an expression that does make sense. You're locked up. And you are locked up until you get that bail date, all right? So then you go to court, they discuss what's going on, what got you here, and all these things, and the judge sets a bail. And say your bail is $50,000.
Okay.
All right? Well, then you're going to call most people, and because I'm assuming now everyone just has $50,000 to throw out like that.
Yeah.
But you're going to call a bail agent, and they're going to come in, and they're going to say, well, you're going to have to give me 15% of this, right? Well, so that would be $7,500, all right? So you're going to give your bail agent $7,500 to do your case, all right? So he's going to pay technically your bail, but you're going to get that money never back, that $7,500. But bail, again, isn't going to come right out of your pocket. Bail is saying, if you don't show up for your court dates, here's what's going to happen. Now you owe all these things, collateral, you put your house down, you put your car down.
Yeah, you're going to lose everything you own. Yeah.
So it's not good, right? But that's what bail is. So bail, the only thing that bail does is allow you to not be locked up anymore if the situation is still, again, certain situations, not the case.
Keeping with the principle of innocent until proven guilty.
If you're convicted of murder and we see that you're actually very guilty of murder, like there's blood all over your hands, I mean, they're going to say, all right.
Yeah, and that's another thing that's considered is risk. I mean, if you're arrested for jaywalking or you're arrested for being a mass murderer, those are two very different things.
So two very different things. So sometimes bail doesn't even have an effect. But
correct.
So if you were bailed, that means you can go back to your home, you can go back out and be released into the world, but that does not mean you're walking away free.
Right.
Because you still have those charges on you.
Yeah, and so the court date will be set.
Then a court date will be set. You have to show up to court. If you don't show up to court, well, then you got to pay your bail, and you lose your car,
and you're going to be charged with contempt of court and everything else.
So it just gets worse, right?
It gets worse,
so that's what bail does, and I had no clue that is what bail meant.
Yep.
And all those things.
Yep. So what it is it basically allows you to. It's a guarantee that you will come back when you are assigned to come back.
Yes.
So and you know, because if you don't, they're going to ruin your life, and then they're going to send bounty hunters after you. And you don't want that.
Dog.
So, yeah.
I mean,
Dog the bounty hunter.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I would watch that show growing up all the time.
Yeah. Well, and that's what he did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
People jump bail, he'd go find him.
Yeah.
That was the show.
I missed my calling in life. I really want to be a dog the bounty hunter. That would be awesome.
I can see that out of you, Parker.
I think I could do it both. Pastor and be a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
I think they actually go hand in hand in all reality. So
all right, I'm trying to envision that.
What is happening right now is I'm actually proposing a business plan to Tim.
Yeah.
We both become bounty hunters.
And this is me laughing at it. Yes.
We deck out the Beetle.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it'd be actually pretty cool. But
you and I drive around in the Beetle intimidating people who jump bail. Yeah, we're gonna go scare the hell out of some people. That's the whole point. Yeah.
I think there's something here. We can make a ministry out of this.
Yeah, that's what we can call it. We're gonna scare the hell out of you.
Scare the hell out of you, ministry.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Where the black beetle comes running at your door. You've been.
Let's be honest. People are already intimidated by the beetle as it is.
That is fair. That is fair. But so, anyways, I found that interesting because, and it's so different from our faith, from the concept of. Because we use that analogy a lot. At least I hear a lot of ministers use that analogy that God is the judge, all right? True statement, all right? He's going to judge us. And that we've been sentenced to death and not just the death of our physical bodies.
The difference here, though, with the bail analogy is we've already been found guilty. Yeah. See, once you're found guilty, bail is irrelevant.
Yeah. And then, we obviously serve a God that is graceful enough to...
Yeah.
What happens... So here's the analogy in a correct sense. God's the judge. We're guilty. However, the punishment of that death does not go upon us, but someone, Jesus, steps in and says, no, I'll pay it for him. You send me, which again isn't going to work in society.
Yeah,
but that's God's grace.
Yeah, but that's it. That's why the bail analogy doesn't work, because bail says you're still conceivably guilty. After Jesus is done with us, the guilt is gone because the penance has been paid. And that's the difference. So, but getting back to the concept of bail, one of the things that makes bail kind of a controversial thing now is we've had a number of people who have been out on bail, probably shouldn't have been out on bail and committed crimes, and that's awful.
Dodging the bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
That's why people like me and Tim need to be bounty hunters. We see the problem with Tim.
Yeah. We would be dead on our first pickup. Yes, but the idea is that at what point did somebody do something, or we think they did something, or have reason to believe they did something? At what point do we say, we're not going to let you have access to society until we're going to keep you locked up? And I know a lot of times what they'll do. I've seen this before. Is they'll say, all right, we think you're a danger to society. Okay, we have reason to believe that. So we're going to have a trial, and they're convicted. What they do is they say, okay, we're going to give you credit for time served. So, you get 9 life convictions. Well, we're going to take these 3 weeks off, something. But the idea is they do that, because they're afraid of what this person may do. And look, there's legitimate reason to do that. Yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. I was on the phone with somebody this morning that I don't think was playing with a full deck. And some of these people can be frightening when they get going on wherever they're going. People like that and who are a threat to society. There are people who are aggressive and a threat to society, obviously. I'm talking about the people who are mentally unstable and concern us a little. Those are the kind of people that we need to tread lightly. If we have reason to believe that somebody is guilty of something, we need to take a look at that. Again, if you're guilty of passing bad checks, you're a nuisance. You're not a threat.
Yeah.
It's illegal and you should go to jail, etc. But if you're somebody who may, decide to go take your neighbor's head and wear it as a hat, that kind of person probably don't want to give bail to them. Okay. And I think as a society we should be able to say that until we determine what really happened here. You're too dangerous to leave out. And I realize that puts a strain on the system. And I realize there are attorneys who love eating this kind of stuff, but I think at the end of the day, people who haven't done anything wrong should be the first consideration.
But in all reality, you can have 1,000,001 charge if you're say I'm a very wealthy person, right? Mm-hmm. Say how we did that episode when I won the lottery, okay?
Yeah.
And I won the lottery, right? So I have all this money to my name and all these things, and I can just continue to dodge bail. Mm-hmm. I can have all these charges out against me, but it technically doesn't matter because there is no punishment that I have to face because I can continue to write the check to dodge bail.
Yeah.
I just do my monthly.
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that they do is they, in that situation, is they'll revoke the passports.
Yeah.
So you may be out,
yeah,
but you can't leave the country. So the idea is you can run, but you can't hide. There's a lot of things with that. But bail, I think in concept is a good thing because we could be housing people for all kinds of infractions and things like that.
The tiny things. Little petty.
And that's not worth taxpayer money amongst other problems. But I do think though that we have we have a criminal justice system that's there not just to have justice and not just to administer punishment, but they're also there to protect. And I think that sometimes bail doesn't accomplish that. Again, the tax fraud guy, yes, is bad, should go to jail, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
When somebody is a legit threat to women and children and society at large, there's definitely a case to be made that bail is not appropriate in that situation.
Yep.
And that can be revoked, which is another reason why the analogy between bail and grace doesn't work.
Does not work.
Yeah, because if it's at all dependent upon anything, then it's no longer grace; it's something else.
Yeah.
And that's what bail. That's where the bail analogy fails.
So when going into the nitty-gritty of the analogy, it does not work. Mm-hmm. But when you're just trying to find something to help it connect a picture,
it does draw a picture.
It does draw a picture, but don't use it.
Yeah, don't be like Parker.
Yeah, don't be like me.
Yeah.
So this is my confession.
Who basically let the entire city of Walpock down in one sentence.
It was all a part of the plan. It was
yeah. So yeah.
But no. So yeah, I thought that was interesting because again, I didn't have the greatest definition of what bail is, and if your criminal justice shows are popular right now, I don't know why we live in this messed up society where we love to watch people do evil things and face the punishment.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Actually, I know this one. Shows like Law and Order and things.
Yeah.
The reason those shows are so popular is because everything is black and white in those shows. The bad guys are clear. The good guys are clear. In real life, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. And I, because I have visited people in prison a number of times, and you always, when you see those shows, they're all like gnarled and angry, and they are, people in prison. Some of them probably are like that, but the vast majority of them are not. There are people who and I'm not trying to make excuses, but there are people who got caught up in bad situations and things like that. So in real life, the sides are not as clearly defined as they are in Law and Order. So that's why we love that, because we would love the world to be that way. We'd love for all the good guys to wear white hats and all the bad guys to wear black hats, and that would be great, but that's not how the world is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That should have been a whole other episode in itself. But
perhaps next week.
So that is our in-depth look at our criminal justice system on the concept and topic of bail. And I hope you learned a little bit of something, because I know I did. At least, it was good to get that definition under my head again, even though it might have fled away. But no, it was good.
Yep. And I think the final thing we can say here is pray for our law enforcement people. They're in a tough way today, and sure the cops out on the beat, of course. Pray for their safety always, but also the people who are trying to prosecute these crimes, to set up laws and standards and recognize the reality of what some of these people are capable of, and trying to determine what's fair, because fairness is a part of this. What's fair to the person who's been charged, what's fair to the people who are potential victims, what's fair to society. Those are tough questions. People like Parker and I can sit back and say, just hang them all high or whatever, but that doesn't really work in the real world.
Yeah.
That's a great movie theme, it's a great TV show, but
especially in our world that we have made very prestigious laws. I think the best way I could say about our criminal justice system. Yeah. And it's actually something when you really, from my little studying of the bail, it's really something that's quite complicated, yet like magical. Not magic. Magical is not the wrong word. It's beautiful. I'll say that, because it's so thoughtful. It's such a thoughtful process, making sure that even though someone may be guilty, they're not going to be proven, or they're innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah.
They're going to have that fair trial and all those wonderful things that we should be very thankful
when
for.
When it's a situation like Parker was talking about, and the person's obviously guilty.
Yeah.
Even in those situations, we as a society say, nope, not until the process runs, because that makes it fair.
Yeah.
Now, in the quest for fairness, we cannot put people at risk.
Yeah.
Again, back to my analogy, the guy who wants to wear his neighbor's head as a hat. We can't have that guy out there. But we as a society are very much on the side of justice. We as humans are very much in favor of justice, and that's why we want the system to work out. We want the cops to arrest the bad guys. We want the bad guys to stand trial, and if then it's determined that that's what happened or what goes on and what the proper punishment should be, then that's what we want to see happen. And as long as things continue to be fair, and again, how do you define that word? That's what our desire is. So
yeah. So yeah, I think this was a good episode.
Yeah.
I hope you guys learned something today.
Yeah.
And if you see me approaching your door, it could either be for visitation or I'm there to get you on your bail. So
yeah. If you've jumped bail.
I mean, I think this is great. I think that would work awesome. I'm either going to come bring you communion and pray for you, or I'm going to snatch you up and bring you to your court date.
Well, there you go.
You never know.
I can't think of a better note to end on than that one, so y'all better be careful because Parker may be looking for you.